Today I'm very much following your suggestions of my next hair color. Today we're going red. Oh my god, I haven't had red since 2021. I'm very much over this green-blue moment that I have currently going on. It was a freaking cute color, but it's had its moment. I've had this color 1,000,001 times before, and many of you are bored of it. And so I decided to take your suggestions for my very next hair color. I'm feeling creative, I'm feeling ballsy, I really want something transformative. And obviously, anytime I ask you for suggestions, you guys know to suggest some bright ass colors, and you guys want red. Initially I was very hesitant to put any sort of red dye on my current base because, as you can see, there is still a significant amount of color even after last time's hair coloring, and I've washed my hair a bunch of times since then. Since this color ended up being fairly easy to cover even with a very light highlighter pastel shade, I have a feeling that these colors are actually going to be strong enough to go over my existing green-blue hair and create something incredible. Now, if I were to follow actual color theory, red is actually the color used to cancel out green. In fact, one of the tricks that we used to use in a salon, don't tell anyone, it's quite weird, whenever someone used to come in, you know, blonde hair that was in a pool and it turned ever so slightly green, we would put ketchup on it. Ketchup had just enough red pigment in it to not alter the blonde in any way like another toner might, but cancel out the green enough to bring it back to a blonde. Today we're going to be doing a much more extreme version of that because we're laying hardcore red onto hardcore green in the hopes that we'll end up with somewhere in the middle, but ideally some form of a berry cherry cola muted red vibe. I'm not really going for fire truck red, I'm not going for flaming hot Cheeto, but I'm keen on doing something a bit different. We've had orange for a long time, we've had green for a long time. Now I want red. As you guys know, currently I'm doing an Arctic Fox freaking marathon. This video is once again sponsored and brought to you by Arctic Fox. Today I'm once again going to be using their brand newly reformulated EU shades of dyes. They have the exact same names and color specifications as their standard squeeze tube bottle applicator, but they are reformulated and repackaged to meet EU guidelines. Instead of a squirt bottle, you now get a very easy to squeeze out aluminum tube where you can access all of the dye extremely easily, and it comes in probably one of the nicest packaging ever that details every single thing you need to know about the color and even gives you these really amazing shade guidelines to what the color would end up on your hair. Here's one thing I really love about their colors, and I mentioned this in my last video: their colors do not fade. I've had this exact color for weeks now, and underneath my hair is still vivid copper, and to this day we have not an ounce of copper showing, but we still have very distinct green on top, very distinctly beautiful aquamarine blue on the bottom. So if you are looking for a long-lasting, evenly fading color, this brand does not freaking miss. One thing it is going to be very interesting to see is how well it's going to cover up, but so far there also hasn't really missed because these pigments are so pigmented that it covers it up and it does not damage the hair whatsoever. Semi-permanent colors, especially Arctic Foxes, are manufactured in such a way that the conditioner base is extremely nourishing and hydrating to the hair, exactly like a regular hair mask or conditioner that you apply after your shampoo, but it is filled with pigment that stain the outside of the hair. Does not penetrate, does not cause any damage. And how can I continue to dye my hair and the hair does not fall out is because I'm using semi-permanent. So my hair is actually really good. Look how thick it is. Look at this. Today I'm going to be using a mixture of two colors, their brightest reds that I could possibly find. I'm going in with Wrath, which is a gorgeous deep berry red color that fades almost to a pink. It's a very gorgeous color if you're looking to color darker hair and not necessarily blonde. And I'm mixing that with a tiny bit of Poison, which is an absolutely true fire truck red dye. This thing literally is the brightest dye that they have, and it does fade slightly orange. And I do think that the two colors together are going to create probably one of the coolest mixtures ever. Actually, I was going to just mix the two colors together and see what we get, but I'm kind of bored of this singular color moment that I have. So I think I actually want to try a money piece or maybe a hairline thing, so that when I pull it up, we've got one color, but then the rest of it is all the other color. Wrath at the back, Poison at the front. Obviously, all of the colors that I end up using, in this case these two, are going to be linked down below, and luckily for you, you get 15% off. Just use Stella 15 at checkout over any of the Arctic Fox products that they have, including their Foxology line or even their bleaches, shampoos and conditioning or hair treatment, and you will get 15% off. You're welcome. I'm helping you support your hair dyeing career and getting you your dream hair color. Arctic Fox also have these really cute color-coded bowls and brushes that you can get in all of the rainbow colors. You get to separate your colors, so if they're very similar, at least you know which one's which. Wrath is going in here. So satisfying. And this is going to be one of the very first times that I'm taking the color literally from the tube and applying it straight to my hair. I'm not diluting this whatsoever. Ooh, all right. So this is Wrath, extremely beautiful, very much a rich berry red. And then this is Poison, a much more orange-based red. I think the two together could look so beautiful. Very interested to see how it's going to look on my base. I'm so nervous. I haven't done a bold color in a while. I know it's not going to be bold because we're doing it on a very dark base, but I think it's still going to be extremely interesting. Bon appetit! Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to find out what happens when you put one shade of red over blue and green simultaneously, because I do not know. Color theory tells me that the two colors should cancel out, leaving me with a dark brown. Hair dye experience tells me that most likely the green will be too light and the red will be strong enough to overcompensate and leave me with, hopefully, a cherry cola brown. Look how bright that is. I think this is going to look beautiful. Now I really want to see how this is going to compare to Wrath in the back, which I think is going to look even prettier, but the two mixed together, interesting combination. I'm gonna look like I've just committed a massacre or like I've just been massacred. A lot of people tend to ask me how my colors tend to look so good even after so many washes. I'm gonna spill all my secrets on how to maintain a bright hair color, because bright hair color is completely different to any other color management. Here's the thing about stains though. The longer you leave them on, the longer they will stain, meaning this can stay on the hair for a long time. You can even leave it on overnight if you want, but you are going to stain everything in a vicinity. I typically leave it for an hour, but if the color is quite light, like a pastel, leave it on for longer. And washing it out, don't wash, just rinse it. My best tip would be to start with freshly washed hair, dye it like I'm doing right now because my hair is freshly washed, and then just rinse it out. There's no need to put a conditioner on because this is your conditioner. Always use cold water. Hot water always strips hair color. This is true for permanent, semi-permanent, and demi-permanent. So use cold water when rinsing. Be thorough, but don't wash, and no hot water. And now here's the thing that many people aren't aware of, because so far I've been telling you things you already know. Your first wash after you dye your hair should be the longest you go without washing your hair. Even after you've washed your hair and rinsed off the dye is still kind of sitting on your hair. Obviously, it's a stain. So the longer you go after you first wash your hair after you dye it, the longer your hair color is going to last because it's still sitting on the hair and somewhat penetrating. So your first wash, I typically always say 5 to 7 days. And then obviously common sense. Use color protecting shampoos and conditioners. If you're always using sulfate shampoos or cleansing shampoos or shampoos that are meant, let's say, for volume, which is stripping, your color is going to fade more. You can use Arctic Fox's shampoo and conditioner, which is specifically designed for that. But you can also use any shampoo or conditioner that literally just says color security, color safe, anything that prevents color bleeding. Right now the two colors look pretty similar together. I am curious if there is going to be a discernible difference between the two, but nonetheless, I'm very curious to see what the end look is going to be like, because now I'm thinking maybe it's going to turn purple. Something I should have considered, considering I'm putting red on blue, which are the two primary colors needed to make purple. So, you know, it's going to be cute in any way. Massacre. Literally like a massacre. Here's an extremely fun fact for you, because I love collecting fun facts and I know you like to hear them. The reason why in surgeries they use vivid blue gloves whenever they're performing surgery is because red pops so much on it because of what color blood is and then what the gloves are. You can see it. There you go. Fun fact. Colors used in everyday instances. 3, 2, 1.
Imponderous.
Nuane foda kudus nganga ay kauda ashuti kauda nganga Aba washidaya mama ay nganga dai watiskinga Nuane foda kudus nganga ay kauda ashuti kauda nganga
Or feel myself again. Although I'm sure it's very obvious by this point in my career. And especially if you've been following my channel for a while. Difference that a hair color can make on how you view yourself is tremendous. Like when I look in the mirror now, as conceited and as vain as it sounds, I want to say that I see someone that looks capable, that looks strong, that looks put together. And fundamentally, that is the whole point of us getting together, getting ready, putting on our makeup and doing our hair and dyeing our hair. While I do make it a clear point that hair doesn't matter, how we then view ourselves absolutely does. Mark my words, good hair makes all the difference in you. Cherry Cola, is this you? Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Oh my god. I've made it such a clear point before in the past that deeper berry colors, gem tone colors are my absolute favorite. I know for a fact that it's one of the colors that tend to suit me more because of how deep and rich they are, making it a very good contrast with my otherwise pretty plain skin and features. This right here is a very, very interesting mix, and I want to tell you exactly why. The back has these beautiful pops of purple, and that is because the berry colors in Wrath mixed very, very nicely with the aquamarine of the rest of my hair, especially on the ends. Beautiful fusion of purple. Throughout the entire front of our hair, there's no purple, there's much more of that gorgeous cherry cola color that I was going for, and the whole thing together looks so beyond spectacular, I could be speechless. But I'm not. Instead, I'm telling you everything. Then very cool thing, and the one thing that I was mildly worried about is how well the green would be covered up. But as usual, Arctic Fox came in, they delivered, despite the fact that it was their own dyes underneath. The new colors of Poison and Wrath absolutely had no problem covering it up, creating a really gorgeous, even color, obviously still with lighter ends because I have lighter ends, but so gorgeous. I think it's also worth noting the shine, but I won't go into it again because you already know how nourishing and hydrating their dyes are. And then the color is obviously just gorgeous, but that was mostly down to personal preference and choice. All of the dyes that I used are going to be linked down the description box below, and as always, you have my option to use my coupon code STELLA15 at checkout whenever you're shopping from Arctic Fox, and this applies for any one of their dyes. So if you're looking to get their whole range or even maybe a bleach kit because you want to lighten your own hair, you have the option to use a 15% off discount to kind of help you out in your purchase. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else in between, do not underestimate good hair. But I have proven myself yet again that hair dyeing cheers me the f up. Really cheers me up. I'm so presenting you with yet another color option for you to try. As always, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Join the Stellar fam. Let's learn a thing or two together. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll give it a go, and I will see you in my next video. And do not hesitate to leave any of your suggestions down below. I do want to be a bit creative this summer, so if you have something particularly wild, let me know. Obviously gorgeous. Gorgeous, darling. Gorgeous. Ooh.